Hey everybody, Vaughn here with the Vonster vlog. I'm trying a different camera angle today, so bear with me. Welcome to day 110 of a year of yoga. I hope you guys are having a pretty good day so far. And we are going to start just at the foot of our mat, inhaling up, reaching our arms overhead, plugging our fingertips into the sky. The cat sticks in to harass the tripod. You can inhale up or you can exhale up. Just whichever you do, the whole idea here is to pair our breath with our movement. Oh, goodness, that's really nice. Don't be afraid to yawn and stretch and wiggle with it. You're starting to wake up a bit. Before we come into mountain pose, I'm at a little bit wider of a stance here. Breathe in for 4, hold, and then exhale for 4 and hold. I also like to inhale for 4, hold, then exhale for 8. Let's step forward. I'm centering my right foot up on the mat and stepping forward. I feel so like clunky and not quite awake yet today, so bear with me. So coming now into our high lunge. Inhaling up. Again, we don't want to be bunching our shoulders up by our ears here. Just having like a nice relaxed shoulder. We just have our arms overhead. Really engaging that glute to get into the hip flexor. Let's start that arm turn. Inhale. Exhale down. Let's change direction. I'm only doing 2 in each direction right now. Well, I lied. I'm going to do 4 here. Now stepping front ways and then turning to face the other direction. Trying to not fall over. And remember, you don't have to be 1 foot directly in front of the other as a tightrope. Being on a nice wide railroad track may be helpful. Again, tuck that pelvis under, engage those glutes to stretch that hip flexor. And inhaling. Change direction. And from here, we will come into center again, both of our feet facing forward on the mat. We'll inhale up and then exhale, hinging at the hips, bringing our hands either to some blocks or the ground, or you could have a stack of books. Well, I gotta pet the kitty. And from here, we can actually straighten our back and just shift a little our hips one side and then the other. And from here, let's bend our knees and flat back, rise back up. And keeping my right foot parallel to the head of my mat, going to turn my left foot out, make a little bit wider of a stance. Inhale and exhale. Warrior two. Extending our left foot over the center line, left knee over the center line of our left foot. Engaging and pulling our navel in, using our core to provide support to our spine. Then coming down, changing the orientation of our feet, and warrior two on the other side. And you can really like engage your arms and have your fingertips radiate away from you. We like this on the surface doesn't seem like a complex pose, but there's a lot of nuance that we can bring to it to make it very as challenging as we want. One more breath here. And let's come to the center again and hinge flat back forward till our hands reach the mat. And from here, we can walk our hands from one side, pointing our left toes towards the ceiling as we get into that left inner thigh. If you want deeper stretch, just look forward and up. Inhale and exhale over and down. And you do not have to go this deep. An easier version of this would just be coming over like this and then walking the hands to the other side. Just be wherever you are to get the stretch that you're looking for. Shifting again to the other side. One more on each side. Very good. So now we're gonna roll back up. I'm actually going to be turning. We're adding in a new posture today. Well, we've done it before, but it's new to the sequence. And I have my feet just as wide as my mat. And I may grab a couple of blocks actually, because we're going to be practicing some progressions into possibly crow. Just catching our breath. Getting situated. I don't know why this pose is scaring me today, but we can do it. And come on down into Garland Pose. A nice deep yogic squat, and you can just shift from side to side. Focus on keeping your heart open, growing your head up and out. And from here, I'm going to try to use the blocks to maybe support my head. I don't know yet. But I'm going to come up and then bring my feet significantly closer together. They're still about hip width apart. And let's practice really putting our weight into our arms. So we're just squatting here, almost in a toe squat, and just placing our hands on the mat and then practicing shifting our weight, bringing our head down to the blocks. And this may be, like me, for you, it might be very, very challenging, and that's okay. That's why we start here. So it's almost like we're practicing little push-ups, but just coming down into position and coming back up. I'm going to bring my feet a little closer together, a little higher up on my toes. There we are. I'm going to scooch these blocks just to get a little bit different of a sensation. Whew. And I think I'm coming into Thunderbolt position. Oh, to get a nice counter stretch on my feet as they're underneath me. I think that's all I've got in me today for practicing that. Oh man, I don't know why. Like, I've been lifting weights, so my entire upper body feels just like spent, but that's all right. It's not about just whenever we do these things, it's not about getting into the gym or getting onto our mat and like, boom, we did the thing. It's those baby steps of progression that we take to get us from point A to point B that makes getting to point B so cool and rewarding and fulfilling. Like, it's the seeking that is the best part of the quest, I think. So don't be hard on yourself if you're not at where you wanted to be, or where you want to be, or where you think you ought to be, or where somebody else told you that you ought to be. Just be. So we're going to sit here in easy pose. Just inhale and exhale. We did a bit of shaking up of our internal oceans, really getting that blood flowing and the breath moving. So let's visualize and just let those waters smooth and settle. Actually, I want to try something. Oh, well, I spoiled the surprise by ringing the bell. I have no idea if this is going to be horribly annoying to all of you or not, but I really want to do it. This is a Tibetan singing bell that I got whenever I worked at the Moonwillow Emporium in my youth. When I was still young, but like I was a baby back then. uh, like fresh out of high school. I shopped there so much they were like, "Do you want to work here?" And I was like, "Yes." And then I basically just spent my paycheck there every month. Um, who needs food when you have rocks, right? Okay, so let's slow our breath down. Find peace within our mind. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today. Let me know what you think of the singing bell stuff, because honestly, it's a bit high pitched for me, but I want to get better at making it sing, and kind of having fun with that. And I'd really love to get one of those very deeply resonant uh, singing bowls that have a really like deep and mellow and beautiful sound. I'd gone to a Kundalini yoga class once where the lady teaching finished it off with a sound bath. It was the coolest stuff, you guys. Like, And then I've listened to sound baths on like YouTube and stuff since then, just because I like it, you know, super chill. Like there's not always necessarily like a beat or anything, so it just really lets my mind wander. Um, Man, it didn't. It's cool, but it does not hold a candle to it happening in person, especially after a vigorous yoga session. And it's just because you can like feel like it's like a I used to go to raves to hoop dance, not necessarily because I'm super into like techno or whatever kind of like club music they were playing at the time, but because I wanted to feel the music like in my rib cage. Whenever I was in concert band, again, I loved playing the flute, not necessarily just because it's the flute, but because I was in the front and I could feel like whenever they'd do like a timpani roll or the tubas were like really cutting loose, you could feel that like just vibrating the sound waves like in you, like, oh, this is so cool. um and and I experienced that also at the sound bath. It was so like ultra tingly and I absolutely loved it. So thank you guys again so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and until then, you guys keep on keeping on. So bye.